Hello. Thanks for tuning in to Tuning Mill Tarot. My apologies. I am still under the weather, but since I'm up and awake, because the dog had to get me up, of course. That's interesting. Nice code. Okay. So I'm going to be using this Grateful Dead tarot deck and potentially making some Grateful Dead references. By the way, happy birthday to Bob Weir, who's celebrating his 75th birthday this weekend. 75 years and he's still out on the road traveling and touring. Isn't that amazing? Good for him. So I hope everyone is enjoying those shows. That's what I was going to say. Grateful Dead is not your thing, you may want to click onto a different reading because there may be some references here that may or may not make sense. So I know sometimes people think tarot itself is confusing, but that's not really the point of tarot. It's asking for clarification from your spirit guides and things of that nature. And I've been meditating on this space, so it took me a while to even come to know that I'm going to use this deck. So let's see what Spirit has for us today, please. For the collective. I was thinking about some other things too, so we'll see if it comes out in the reading. You know, it's like I think about these things and then I promptly forget them, so if I don't write them down. But often they come out as they're supposed to. Oh, yes. I don't know why. I've refound this crystal, and I wish I could remember for the life of me. I think a friend of mine, she knows a lot about crystals, and I think she recommended one of these. But I can't remember if this was I think it's for clarity. What was I just saying? I needed to ask for clarification on what deck to use. Okay, message is coming out. Happy Sunday. What is that song? Is that Bruce Springsteen too? Is that the same one? Messages keep getting clearer. Judgment. Right off the bat. I mean, this is Sunday. There is a cross there. A lot of religions believe in judgment. But, when they say, karma's a bee or don't let karma bite you on the butt, right? I mean, because at a certain point, we need to come to terms with not only our world, but the world around us, right? But this is a really beautiful card. It's representative of Franklin's Tower. It says the four winds. So as you arrive at judgments, and he's standing up and arriving, he's saying, yay, look at this celebration here. These are flags, right? But these flags are blowing this character home, so as the song says. So if you're into song lyrics and stuff like that, check out Franklin's Tower. And this is, I didn't even realize this. This is the first, pulled this card a few times. I got this deck about a year ago, I think. It was right after it came out. I got it on the pre-order. Anyway, you see there's these dragons here. And then I was thinking about the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And this is a judgment card. That's kind of crazy. Alrighty then. Maybe it's some Lord of the Rings thing, All right, moving on. Wow, the Saint of Circumstance. You know what? You might feel like you're in a predicament if you're being judged, but the thing is that the Saint comes with knowledge of the ages. So when you're in this position in the Celtic Cross, if you're able to lean on and tap into that kind of wisdom, then the judgments that you make should be in your favor. Okay, that's what this is saying. And see how that just came out. I wasn't necessarily thinking about that particularly, but so. Oh, yes, and chatty, right? There was an 8 of bears. There's an 8 of pentacles. If you worked any overtime this weekend, I hope you got today off. Just kind of rest and relax, right? Knight of Roses. So for some of you, I feel like you're really kind of in that, I wanted to say lovemaking zone, but that's not like literally what I meant. Like kind of just on that vibe of being open to exploration of love and what it has to offer. Okay. You could also have some water in your chart or be dealing with a water sign. So it's the astrology part of it. Yes, ten of Swords here. And it feels like you're leaving the past in the past, collective. Okay, like I was saying, ancient, like here's a pyramid. Like, you know, when you say like, oh, that's ancient history, right? Like up. Ancient history. You know what I mean? Sometimes do you ever, oh, this is terrible to say, but it's true, you know, and especially if you keep a journal or something like that, sometimes you can go back and like, maybe you were like really upset one day and maybe you didn't really like disclose why in the journal, but it's like, if you think back and it's like, what was happening at that time? And then when you look back and it's like, wow, I was really upset over that versus, you know, how my life is now. You know, I think we've all had those times, and this is Spirit saying that this may be one of those times when, for some of us in the collective, if we've reached that point with a situation, it's time to put it in that perspective of saying that, you know, one day we might just look at this and be like, oh my God, what was that all about, right? Okay. Yaddy daddy, let's have a party. Don't bother nobody, right? Okay, Sunday. And also non-Grateful Dead references will be used. Okay, King of Swords, bam! What? Okay, so here's the air signs coming out. You could be a Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, and when we talk about leaving the past in the past, the King of Swords would be the one who's like, yeah, and in terms of, but like, so the Queen of Swords is known as kind of like the bitch card, right? So what's the King of Swords, you know, like that cold heart, like he's a cold-hearted snake, you know, not necessarily a snake though, because he's a king, right? Like he knows how to take care of himself. In fact, he's got this shovel here. He's probably whopping the snakes over the head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm taking care of me and mine, and I'm not afraid to wield the blade, okay, in order to make it happen. So take that for what it's worth. Anyway. King of Swords is also known for having its high intellect, and with the placement in the Celtic cross here, I feel like that's a good thing to focus on and foster, and again, leaning on, you know, perhaps ancient wisdom to help guide, okay? Woo! I really like these cards. I should put a link in there to where you can order them if you like them. Let's see. 7 of Bears. I never noticed. He's kind of a little sleepy. Maybe it's just early in the morning, but like he's getting the job done, right? You know, that's what the 7 of Pentacles is kind of about. It's just like you just never know. You just gotta keep moving, and eventually that stuff, you know, given the right conditions, right? And that's kind of what this is too, is like a energy check-in. So this might not be your story at the moment, so take what resonates and leave what does not. Believe it if you need it. If you don't, then pass it on. So the pass it on could be somebody else's energy, and maybe that's why it might be resonating with you. And again, if it's not your story, don't make it fit. So Spirit for the collective, yeah. Exactly. If it's not your story, don't make it fit. Don't lean into gossip, lies, values that you don't believe in, and make it clear. And I feel like you are collective because you're coupled with the Judgment card. You know, like, I ain't taking no shit today. You know what I'm saying? Don't let that become you. Remember who's the center of your universe. It's not this thing over here. It's not that thing. Yeah, it's something you might have to deal with, but it's not the center of you, where you can see these roses still are, where the love still blooms, you know, and it's trying to bud into something. So I feel like for a lot of you right now, the tides are turning. Okay. And don't forget the spirit that you have within you. And actually, also, the four winds blowing you home, how far reaching that can be. So, you know, for deadheads, far reaching, deadheads know how to travel, right? And they're going and getting spirits of renewal, I feel like, to kind of hone in on this. And this is reminding me of the Two of Cups here, too. I don't know if the illustrators purposely did that or not, but anyway. I could check in the guidebook. There's a very, very nice guidebook that comes with this deck. All right. And your environment, please. I am an intuitive reader, though, so if something doesn't exactly match, you know, somebody else's interpretation of the card, that's fine. That's just the message that I'm receiving right now and passing along to you. So again, take what resonates and leave what does not. Do not make it fit. All right, so the youthful spirit celebration, happy 75th year young Bob Weir, as we said. Celebrate dancing, motion, you know, activity, and receiving the messages of the universe. I feel like this is what this is about today in the environment. So, and typically Sundays, you know, a day of rest and renewal. You know, it could be spiritual renewal for some folks, okay? No matter what your environment. All right. And if your environment is not, then you gotta like take a look at that, right? Okay, so in hopes of fear, spirit, what we got for the collective? The Four of Swords. Okay. The Four of Skulls here. So taking more of a rest, wondering if you're going to get that rest might be a concern for some of you. I don't know why I'm getting the message, like, I feel like some of you are fearful that somebody is resting on you. Take what resonates. So, and, you know, in your environment, and if you're feeling this kind of youthful energy, yeah, like, what does a young person do? They like to go out, they like to socialize, they like to have fun, they like to have friends, they're discovering their interest in life. So for some of you, if you're having this kind of renewal energy, you know, you're not necessarily like, oh, why do I want to slow down? Why do I want to rest? You know what I mean? So take that into account. Spirit, will we have an outcome? I want to get, see how this relates. Oop. Spirit, what do we have? That happens to be the King of Roses and the Nine of Bears. Oh my god. All right. This deck is cool because, oh my god, these cards are flying. All right. Because they are slick, but yet again, they are slick. All right. Slick shoes, you crazy? Six of bolts here. All right. What do we have in the outcome for that spirit? Ooh, boy, oh boy. There we go. Thank you. Yada, yada, yada. Manifesting your destiny. I think that's a nice place to end the reading. So if you are getting some rest in a way that is renewing you in your spirit, okay, then, and think about also what surrounds you and what reinvigorates, what waters your spirit, okay, so you have to get some But in order to do that, you're going to have to maybe step outside your comfort zone, right? Okay. And maybe that's why this is in the environment here, because stepping outside our comfort zone, we feel like, oh my gosh, like I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to doing this. You know what I mean? Like, or maybe you haven't, gone roller skating in a really long time. You're like, oh God, what if I trip and fall? Like, so I feel like that's a little bit of this energy. But here with the infinity symbol, the road goes on forever, man, right? Like, you do have, to put it simply, second chances in life. Like, there's always an opportunity because, as long as you keep, be grateful for the new day, right? And that's what this musician, magician, he, whatever, he's got the little vest on. Anyway. Why does it remind me of Back to the Future when Marty walks in with the vest and they're like, would you're in the Navy or something? I don't know what they say to him, but they were giving him a super hard time about his vest. Dude, oh my goodness. It just happens to be that reddish, but I don't know what that is inside the steely, but it kind of looks like a smoking joint. Can you see that? All right. Manifesting the life of your dreams, knowing there's a new tomorrow. This is in your outcome. Alrighty. Oh, gosh, I'm already at like 16 plus. I think I'm going to go back to sleep after this and get my rest so that I can continue battling my cold/sinus infection thing. Oh yes, the fall foliage, that was something that I was hoping to talk about. So it's hitting some peak times, so get out there and enjoy that if you can. If you're in a region, or if you don't have a reason, there's your reason to get out. Go look at the foliage, Make a day of it. That is one thing I might have some energy to do, like not necessarily walking, but maybe just driving my car down the road. Birth of ideas, birth of newness. Judgment is also, and I was talking about renewal being birth. My Billy fans, I hope to make it to renewal one day. Hopefully Billy keeps doing that out in Colorado. All right. Hopefully this doesn't shake the camera too much. I'll look up the official meaning in my Messages from the Light guidebook. So this is a meditation deck. So again, good time to do things of that nature while you're resting, like do meditation. Let's see here, which I was doing before this reading. I was just making sure. I wanted to make, since I'm under the weather, I wanted to make sure that my energy was good enough for you guys to, properly receive these messages. You know what I'm saying? All right. Tree of Life, right? Okay. Almost kind of looks like a woman's body too, a little bit. Like the flowing dancer. Maybe it's just me. That which we work so hard to produce outside ourselves is first born within us. Now the gestation period comes to an end. Okay, there's that 10 of skulls. So if you're pregnant, you're like, yeah, get this thing out of me. Alrighty. Bring forth your inner self. Be the change you want to see in your world. Right? That's what the musician card is all about. You're manifesting what your life wants to look like. If you want to be hanging out on the beach, you know what? And that makes you happy, then go for it, And okay, maybe that doesn't mean moving to Costa Rica, but, hey, wouldn't that be nice? 6 months, who cares, right? People go to Florida too. And they live in Florida. And I'm saying this being somebody that lives is located in the Midwest currently. Anyway, so As within, so without. Within you, without you. What is that? That was one of my favorite Sgt. Pepper tracks. You know, I didn't have the original album. My friend did. Her mom did, though. I mean, her mom was a big Beatles fan, so she had all those records that we would listen to. Back when the kids listened to records, but vinyl's making a resurgence anyway. But better yet, just, you know, and well, where can you get vinyl albums? And I mean, even the merch tables, right, too. Some people still make those. Anyway, I hope you all have a pleasant rest of your weekend. And, you know, enjoy. Bye.